today's event. Today's webinar brings together our esteemed faculty advisor, the dedicated members of SME UNTIRTA, and a special guest from SME in Michigan, USA, Mr. Archer. Thank you all for taking the time to join us. We are excited to learn more about SME and the opportunities it provides for its student chapters. Okay, let me take you through the outline for today's webinar. First, opening remarks by the President of SME UNTIRTA. Second, presentation by Mr. Archer about SME and the SME Student Chapter. Third, the discussion session where participants can engage directly with Mr. Archer. And fourth, a documentation session to conclude the webinar. Okay, without further ado, let us begin. First, we would like to invite our President, Panglima Makarim, to deliver the opening remarks.
Okay, hi everyone. Good evening. Prosperous greetings to all of us. I respect Mr. G.C. Archer as the Development Specialist of the Society of Manufacturing Engineers, or SMA, and the research person at this webinar event. Mr. Suryana as the Faculty Advisor of the SME UNTIRTA Student Chapter, Mr. Aditya Trenggono, and all the management of the SME UNTIRTA Student Chapter who have helped organize this webinar event, as well as PT Timah Industri as the sponsor of the establishment of the SME UNTIRTA Student Chapter. First of all, on behalf of the SME UNTIRTA Student Chapter, I would like to proudly thank the speaker, all audience, and the committee for taking the time to attend the webinar event with the theme SME and Student Chapter and Introduction. This event is a form of our commitment to introduce, add insight, and provide knowledge about SME, or Society of Manufacturing Engineers, and SME Student Chapter. Therefore, we hope that all audience and the general public can benefit and make solution for informative learning and international standard character development, so that it can be applied in everyday life. Finally, I invite all audience to actively participate and listen carefully to what is given by our speakers at this event. Do not hesitate if you have a question that you want to convey. I hope this webinar event can run smoothly and provide maximum benefits for all of us. That's all from me. If there are shortcomings, please forgive. Good luck and thank you.
Okay, thank you, Panglima, for your motivating words and vision for SME UNTIRTA. Now we are glad to introduce our special guest, Mr. Archer from SME Michigan, USA. Mr. Archer will share important information about SME and the SME Student Chapter. Mr. Archer, if you may.
Hello, everybody. Good evening, good morning to me. It is 7 a.m. over here in Michigan in the morning. So I really appreciate you all being here today and joining this call, even though it is 7 p.m. your time. So I do really, really appreciate that. So I do have a few slides that I want to go over just because I think it's easier to show some visual than it is to just talk the whole time and show you nothing. So is it okay if I share a PowerPoint presentation? Okay, I will do that if I can figure it out. Give me just 1 second here. Right. See, we use Teams, Microsoft Teams at our organization, so I'm still getting used to how Zoom works. So give me just a second here. I apologize for the delay. All right. Can everybody see this okay?
Yes, it's okay.
Great. Awesome. So I want to start just by saying welcome. It's not easy starting a student chapter. There's a lot of work that goes into it, and you all did a very amazing job to get this chapter up and running very quickly. There are some student chapters I work with that take several months up to a year to get a student chapter started, and it took you you all move very quickly. So I just wanted to say congratulations and welcome to SME. We're proud to have you as Chapter S406. And I wanted to let you all know that I'm here as a resource anytime if you have any questions, comments, or concerns or anything like that. But um, getting into this, I wanted to first just highlight why SME? Why is SME membership important? If you want to scan this QR code, it'll take you to our website, which will show you all of our member benefits. But just to highlight a few, networking is really important. As a chapter, you're able to connect with any chapter across the globe. So if there's anyone you ever want to talk to, any industry professional you want to talk to, just let me know and I'd be happy to get you connected. We have early job boards. We have resume review. We have leadership experience, as the officers of this chapter know. We have research assistance for articles and databases that are behind paywalls, and then certifications as well. As an SME member, you get a heavy discount on all of our certifications. So if you're interested in getting certified in a technical field, you can do that with SME. Also, I wanted to mention our chapter toolkit. This is another web page we have. There's the QR code and there's the link down there for it. But it has a lot of stuff that can help the chapter on campus. So if you ever need something that can help the chapter, feel free to reach out to me. But there's a good chance that it's going to be on this chapter toolkit as well. So you can check there if you'd like. It's just a very good page to bookmark, and we're still working on it. So hopefully it'll be more full in the future. So the first thing I really wanted to go over today is the annual forms and funding opportunities because I know student chapters want money. I totally understand. It helps you guys do all the great work that you do. And we would be where we provide funding multiple times a year for student chapters. There's multiple different opportunities. So the first way that a chapter can receive funding, the annual funding form, which is due at the beginning of January each year, which unfortunately we did miss this year just because of when the chapter was formed and all that good stuff. But there are still funding opportunities for your chapter this year, which I'll get into here in a second. But just going forward in January every year, you can request up to $3,000 every single year for the chapter with an application. We have a financial form as well, which this year will be due February, actually. It's typically due in January, but it's due in February this year. It just includes the bank account info for the chapter, so when we do send you money, we know where to send it to. And then at the end of every October, we require new officers. So they can be the same officers as the previous year, that's okay. But we just need those submitted. And I will mention that if we don't get officer submissions and if we don't get that financial form, we won't be able to send any annual funds because we don't know which account to send the money to, and we won't know if the chapter is still active if the officers are not updated. So here is the way that your chapter can receive money this year. So SME has a special funding request specifically for our student chapters. So if there is a event coming up or a program you want to hold, you can go to our special funding request page, request money there. We have $5,000 we can provide every single year. So feel free to put in a request for funding if there's something that you need funding for. We are always more than happy to help chapters out that way. Next, I want to get into the chapter officer positions, which I'm sure you are all pretty well aware of just because of you've already submitted your officers. So but I do want to talk about it a little bit and what each role represents. So, first we have the chair, which recruits and retains members, does the strategic planning for the chapter and provides guidance to other officers. The chair also represents SME nationally and locally. Then you have the chair-elect, whose roles are very similar to the chair. When we created the chair-elect position, our goal was to have the chair-elect serve as chair-elect for 1 year and then become chair the next year. It doesn't always work out that way, and that is okay, but um, the responsibilities are very similar. That's why some chapters call it vice chair, vice president, or co-president, co-chair. Then we have our treasurer and our secretary. The treasurer oversees all of the financial matters. So that financial form I was talking about earlier are usually submitted by treasurers. Um, and then secretary takes meeting notes, creates agendas, sends out meeting notices, and all of that good stuff. The secretary is responsible for tracking a lot of the the processes and the annual documentation from the chapter. And then we have the faculty advisor, which is the faculty member that oversees the entire group. The faculty advisor should be engaged in almost all of the projects the chapter takes on. They should help with the financial report, with the funding application, with the special funding requests, with everything that the student chapter does. The faculty advisor should be there as a guide for all of that, all of those processes. And we do have other positions that are not required, but you can have. You can have an advertiser. You can have somebody who nominates officers every year for election. You can have a social media manager, someone who oversees a social media account for a group or for the chapter, excuse me. Or you can just have an officer with no specific name, just someone that helps the chapter with everything that they do. So some common questions here that I usually get include have to do a lot with our chapter roster. So a lot of faculty advisors and many chairs often want to know how many members they have, how they can contact their members, all of that good stuff. And the chapter monthly report is a great way to get all of that information. I believe I'm still working on the monthly report for your chapter, but I'm hoping it will go out on February 1st. If not, I'll get it out to you as soon as I can. But every single month on the first day of the month, you should receive a report that has all of your new members, all of your expiring members, your membership breakdown and demographics, member trends, and so much more. So this is a really, really valuable resource that we'll send out for you to promote the chapter and engage with members on campus. Um, and those are really the high level things I wanted to go over. I know that it's pretty basic. Another one recommendation I always give student chapters is to um, start social media accounts, get engaged digitally so you can post photos and you can show folks on campus all of the great work that you're up to. Um, but if anyone has any questions for me, or if there's anything I didn't talk about that you would have liked me to talk about, feel free to ask or feel free to send me an email or give me a phone call anytime. Anyone, you don't have to be an officer, you don't have to be a faculty advisor. Even if you're not a member, you can still reach out, and I would be happy to answer any questions you might have. But um, I will go back to, if it will let me. There we go. I will go back to this slide right here because we do want to make sure your chapter has money for the events you want to hold this year, just because we missed out on the annual funding application, but there's still avenues here. So please, 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 and I'll put this link in chat when I'm done here in a second, but please, please look this over and consider submitting a request for this. But great. I really thank you all very much for listening to me there. I really do appreciate it. Does anyone have any questions or anything like that for me about what I talked about? Okay, no worries. I know the discussion is next, so if there are any questions, then that is totally okay too. Oh, I see your hand is up. I'm sorry, I did not see that. Go ahead, you can ask your question.
Okay, so yes, this Aditya.
Hi, nice to meet you.
Okay, nice to meet you too. Maybe you can explain about the SME, about what the about the organization of the SME.
Okay.
Can you explain to the audience, please?
Yeah, that's a great, yeah, absolutely. So, SME, our former name was the Society of Manufacturing Engineers, and what SME seeks to do is um, strengthen manufacturing around the globe. We want to make sure that um, manufacturing is strong. We want to make sure that the folks working in manufacturing are well prepared for their roles. Especially in the United States right now, we're seeing that so many employers are hiring, but we don't have a workforce that um, is really ready to rise up and meet those goals or meet those requirements. So that's one of the things that we really try to do is to make sure that the workforce in any country around the globe is prepared to meet the demands of the job and to make sure manufacturing stays strong. And I do have another slide here because I thought I was going to go over my time, so I did delete a few things, but I will share this right here, which has a little bit more information on SME, which I think could be helpful for everyone to visually see. Great. This is from a presentation I did a few years ago, or I'm sorry, last year. Every single October, we have a student chapter officer training where we welcome all of our new officers. And this is one of the things I went over. Um, but you see here this graph that goes over um, essentially what SME does. We work with practitioners, we work with researchers, we work with educators and students to bolster the entire manufacturing ecosystem around the globe. So currently, SME has over 15,000 members across the globe. I will say that a majority of those are in the US and Canada. We actually opened some chapters in India recently as well, which was really exciting to see the and your chapter is proof too that SME is expanding beyond just North America, which is really, really exciting. But we're currently sitting at roughly 135 chapters across the globe. We're in 38 states and 4 countries, which is really, really exciting stuff. So, if you would like, we have a website that has all of our chapters on there. So if you want to see all of our chapters and see where they're all located, and there's contact links so you can reach out and communicate with any of them, you can do that as well. That is totally okay. And then another major question about SME is why do we exist? And I think I went over it a little bit but it's good to have this visual on screen as well. SME has a vision, a mission, and a purpose statement that we really, really stick to. It's something that we really try to emphasize and something that we really, really try to push for every single year. So um, we believe that manufacturing is a diverse, thriving, and valued ecosystem. Our mission is to accelerate widespread adoption of manufacturing technologies and to build North America's talent capabilities. And we're shifting away from the North America thing because we're seeing so many chapters grow in other countries. Historically, SME has only been active in North America. Um, but we're seeing in recent years that we don't just need to build the talent and capabilities in North America. We need to do it around the globe to ensure that the industry is strong everywhere. Um, and our purpose is to advance manufacturing to drive competitiveness, resiliency, and national security for every nation that we have a chapter in. So those are the things that SME really, really works for and works toward. Um, and then just some of the things we're focusing on in 2025. So SME has a ton of engagement programs that we do. We have national events. Currently, our events are primarily located in the United States, with things like the Manufacturing Technology Series. Um, excuse me. We have NAMRAC, which is the North American Manufacturing Research Conference, which brings educators and industry professionals together. We have the Bright Minds College Experience, where and that's what that photo is from, is the 2023 Bright Minds College Experience we held in South Carolina in 2023. That brings students from tons of universities together to get them all plugged into the stuff that we talked about earlier, our mission, vision, and purpose. So one of the primary goals with SME is to connect students with industry and to make sure that pipeline is there. So students, when they have questions, they can talk to professionals, they can find mentors, they can find people that guide them along the correct career path and the path that's right for them. And I will mention too that SME has tons of national volunteer opportunities as well. We have a student relations committee. We have things like a emerging professionals committee and a chapter enhancement committee. We have so many different committees that are led by volunteers to find ways to make SME membership as strong and as beneficial as possible for our members. So, if anyone is interested in joining one of these committees, please let me know, and I will work with the volunteers on that group to see if we can fit somebody in. And then for awards and recognition, SME also has newsletters that we send out to all of our members. So, and we love featuring chapters and mentioning chapters in these newsletters. So if your chapter does something cool, feel free to let us know. Send us some pictures of an event you held. Send us a video. Send us a description of what happened, and we'd be happy to feature it in that newsletter. We have a student chapter in New York right now, in Canton, New York, which is way up at the top of New York by Canada, and um, they are building a catapult right now because they want to launch watermelons in the summer. They just want to send watermelons 50 feet in the air. And stuff like that, I think, is just really cool. It's really fun. And that's the kind of stuff that we like to see our student chapters do. Obviously, that's more of a fun project than anything else, but it still gives you technical knowledge because you need to build the thing, and that involves very valuable skills and very valuable expertise to get that done. So, yeah, thank you for your question. I know that it was a very long answer, but that is a bit more about SME and the stuff that we're doing, who we are, what we stand for. Um, We actually just celebrated our 90th anniversary, I believe, last year. So we are a 91-year-old organization at this point, which is really, really exciting. And seeing this expansion of SME into other countries, other continents is really, really amazing. And I'm excited to see what you all do together. So does anyone else have any questions? Is there anything I didn't go over that I should have? That is the wrong slide. There we go. Great. Any other questions? Thank you for your question, by the way.
So maybe I have one question.
Yeah, of course. Go ahead.
Can you explain about the benefit for the people, the practitioner from industry, if they join with SME, for example, or can you explain about the certification, the professional certification?
Professional certifications.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. So, I let me pull up the link here because I will send this link in chat because this website, we have so many different certifications that it's hard for me to keep track because our team over at Tooling U SME is always coming up with new things, and there are so many courses available through this link. Excuse me, that are just constantly being updated, and there's so many different things you can become certified in. You can become a certified manufacturing technology sales engineer. You can get certified in lean. You can get some technical certifications. One of our newest certifications is electric vehicles. So if you're really interested in electric vehicles, you can get certifications there. You can get robotics certifications, additive. There's just so many different certifications we offer, and there are so many different subclasses to all of those certifications as well to make sure that you really are gaining the expertise that you want from these certifications. So, and I do want to mention also that these certifications are all industry recognized. So these are things that are going to stand out on a resume. They're going to stand out when you're applying for a job. They're going to mean a lot to employers. And I've had so many members tell me that they finally got the job because they got certified in the type of work that they were going to be doing. So feel free to view that link, explore that page, and you can see pricing. If you sign into your SME account, all of the pricing for the certifications will go way down, because there is a heavy discount for members. So a lot of different certification opportunities and at different career levels as well. So we have more advanced certifications for folks who have been working for 20 or 30 years, but we have certifications for college and high school students as well who are just looking to get started.
Thank you, Jess, for the explanation.
Of course, if you have any other questions. Yes, I see your hand is up, Muhammad.
Hello, Mr. Jesse. My name is Zaki, and thank you for your good presentation. I have some questions for you about the SME. The first is, does the SME Student Chapter provide mentorship or networking opportunities with industry professional? And the second question is it possible to collaborate with other SME student chapter uh, for internationally? Thank you.
Yeah, of course. Thank you for your question. The answer to both of those questions is yes. Um, I will be honest though and say that because you are the only student chapter and the only chapter really in your country, um, you will have to, if you do your networking, I mean, you can always work towards starting a professional chapter in the area as well. That is totally okay. We would love to have a professional chapter in the country as well. And that would make networking easier. It would make it more local. But if you ever want to connect with any chapter, any SME chapter, you are free to do that, and I would be more than happy to introduce you via email um, to anyone that you might be interested in meeting. So let me. I will also put this link in chat right here. So this is a link that has all of our chapters. So you can see state by state which chapters are um, present. You can see our international chapters. You can see every chapter that we have. And not only can you see the chapters, but say you wanted to connect with our Northern Colorado chapter for some reason. You really want to talk to the folks in Northern Colorado. If you click Colorado, you can click Contact Chapter and you can send them an email straight from this page. And I'm sure they'd be more than happy to connect with you. Um, but if you want a more formal introduction, just let me know who you want to talk with, and I would be more than happy to connect you myself because these folks know me, and if they see an email from me, including you, it could make them, more likely to, or make it easier for them to see the email, um, and all that good stuff. So yes, feel free to connect with any chapter across the globe, any person across the globe who is an SME member. That is something we highly encourage. But I do think that having a professional chapter near you would be really, really great. For many years, we only had one student chapter in India, at Vellore Institute of Technology. And then after a few years, as those students graduated, um, those students decided to, and they got jobs and they became professionals, they decided to start their own professional chapter. So now there is a professional chapter and a student chapter in India, and they work together all the time on events and projects, and they network and they mentor each other. Um, and it's just a really, really good relationship they have. So that is I know your chapter is brand new, and you just went through all the work of starting a chapter, so you don't need to do this right now. But I do think eventually it would be really beneficial for everyone to have a professional chapter in the country as well. All right, does anyone have anything else? And I want to put this in chat as well. I know I'm putting a million links in chat, but I think it's important for you all to have these. So these events are all digital. They happen um, they happen online. So you can join from your laptop, um, computer, phone, however you want to do it. But they um, if you are ever in one of these events and you hear a speaker that you really like and you want to get connected with that speaker, you can do that as well. So that's a good way to find industry professionals and experts in their field who could be interested in partnerships and connections and that stuff. And this page is always updating. Um, So right now we only have until February 11th up on this page, but there will be plenty more events this year, all the way through December. So keep an eye on this page to see what we have going on digitally and virtually. Oh, I'm sorry, I did not see your hand was up. I am very bad at looking to see whose hand is up. I apologize for that, but go ahead.
And I'm interested with the scholarship and student competition. Yes.
Yes. So for student competitions, unfortunately, right now, a majority of our student competitions happen um, in the United States, and that's just because that's where so many of our members are, and so many of our chapters are. But we do have, if so, one of the things that we have funded in the past with that special funding request I was talking about earlier is we have helped schools who don't have competitions fund their own and create their own competitions. And we can pay for materials and help with prizes and all of that good stuff. So while I'm trying to pull up the link here, but while there may not be any local in-person competitions near you right now, I'm hoping there will be in the future. But also, if you want to do your own competition, that is something that we would definitely be able to fund if you do that special funding request. So, I, me personally, I prefer giving the special funding request money to new chapters and to new chapters that are not in the United States because I know that the opportunities that SME offers in person are primarily in the United States or Canada. So, but mainly the United States. So, if you want to host your own competition, you can get other universities involved if you want to. You can get non-members involved. That's totally okay. But that's something that you can request in the special funding request, and we would be happy to look that over. And I see one more hand up.
Yes, hello, Mr. Jesse. I would like to ask you about the special funding that you have explained earlier. Are
Yes.
there any requirements regarding the files and parameters so that we can apply for the special funding?
Yes. So, this is going to be, let me see here. I'm going to put the link to this in chat as well. My fourth link today. I will put that in chat so you all have it. Um, but this is the link to the special funding request right here. So it only asks for a few things. Um, the only th so there's a few things I would recommend. So I will say that I personally do not approve the requests. I do not deny the requests. So I cannot say um, if you submit something, it will be approved, it will be denied. I cannot say that because I don't have a vote. But it will go to our student relations committee, which I oversee, but I'm not a voting member of. But typically, the projects that have been funded in the past include um, they all fit under one of three things. And those three things are brand. Does this project help with the brand of the chapter? Does it strengthen the chapter brand? Does it make the chapter um, more noticeable? Does it make the chapter more um, involved in their community? And then there's growth. Does this event grow the chapter? does this event make the chapter membership increase? And then there's engagement. Does this event or project engage the members of the chapter and give them something to do? So back to the student competition question from earlier. If your chapter were to request funding for a student chapter competition, that fits 100% under probably brand growth and engagement under all three. So I would just make sure that you fit under one of those three pillars when you submit a request. And I have worked with the Student Relations Committee for this will be my third year now. And they do not like denying requests. They don't like it. They love giving money to students. They absolutely love it. So if they get an application that they feel is missing something, they don't deny it. They ask me to reach out for clarification. So if there is anything missing on the application that we think we need, I will reach out and get clarification before we vote. So I can't guarantee it'll be funded, but I do know we deny very few requests on the SRC. But
Okay.
I do want to say, and I mentioned this earlier, but I do want to reiterate that we do only have the $5,000 for the year. So it's through this budget. So if you put in a request for $2 million, it's not going to happen. But so try to keep it somewhat reasonable. But yeah, the SRC does not really like denying those requests.
Okay, I got it. Thank you for your answer, sir.
Of course, and thank you for your question. I think you can hear my coffee pouring. I will mute for this. All right. Does anyone have anything else, or did I make things pretty clear? And if you are like me and you think of a question 5 hours from now, feel free to email me, give me a phone call anytime. All of you are welcome to reach out to me anytime. You will not bother me. You will not annoy me. It is my job to make sure I answer these questions. So reach out anytime. Oh, I see another hand up.
Yeah, hello, Mr. Jesse. Hello, my name is Cheryl Naila Yasmin. I have a question. As you explained before that SME has a program that can provide direct experience to students, such as training, that can connecting students with industry. And I want to ask you, how many times a year is the program implemented, and what's the registration mechanism for foreign SME members to join the program? Thank you.
Yeah, of course. So I'm sorry, oh my goodness. What was the program that you mentioned again with what was the program?
Sorry, what?
What program did you ask about? I'm sorry, I couldn't quite hear you.
Connecting students with industry.
Oh, okay. Connecting students with industry. Great. Okay. So
Yeah.
this is where a professional chapter connection really comes in handy, and it is really helpful. So you don't have to have a chapter in your country, like I mentioned. You can reach out to any chapter across the globe, and I'm sure they'd be very happy to help you out. So reaching out to those professional chapters is really, really important. But I will say also that SME has a corporate membership program where corporations can join SME not as individuals like you all have, but as a company. So we have many companies that are SME members. I'm not sure if we have any companies near you that are SME members because I haven't looked at the list in some time, and that list is always growing. Um, but I would be more than happy to look into that and see if there are any corporate members near you that you can maybe connect with. And even if they're not near you, you can still connect with them. That is completely okay too. But the professional chapter connection, which I can introduce you to professional chapters, and the corporate membership connections, I think are going to be really, really helpful there. And then there's also that link I sent just a few moments ago with the engagement programs, the upcoming membership events. So almost all of those, well, really all of those online events are led by industry professionals. They're led by people who are experts in their field. They know what they're talking about. And if you want to connect with those experts, just let us know, and we'd be more than happy to connect you. If there's a specific field you're interested in, feel free to send me an email after this, and I can try to connect you with someone in that field who is who knows what they're talking about and can help you out.
Okay, thank you for the answer, Mr. Jesse.
Of course, and thank you for your question. It's nice to virtually meet you.
Okay.
Great. This student chapter was supported by Tetima Industry. It's in industry in Indonesia, in Cilegon. So maybe you can help us to introduce to someone in the SME members who expert in tin industry. So maybe in the future, this student chapter can communicate with that person to explore the development, for example, of the tin extraction or of the tin manufacturing, for example.
Yeah, I can connect you with folks who do stuff like that. That is totally okay. I will if you want to send me an email after this, or I can send you an email. Well, I don't, yeah, if you want to send me an email after this or put your email in chat and I can reach out to you about specific fields you're looking for, I'd be more than happy to try to connect you with some folks there.
Okay, thank you, Jess.
Of course.
Okay. It was a very, very meaningful discussion. Yeah, maybe thank you for Mr. Archer for such an insightful and informative presentation. Your guidance is invaluable to our growing student chapter. And thank you to everyone for your thoughtful questions. And thank you, Mr. Archer, for your detailed and inspiring responses. We really appreciate your time and expertise. Maybe before we wrap up, let us capture this memorable occasion with a group photo. I kindly ask everyone to turn on their cameras for the documentation session. Okay. All right, everyone, let's smile for the camera. Ready? 1, 3, 2, 1. Next page. Wait, wait. 3, 2, 1. Okay. Okay, thank you all. This concludes today's webinar. On behalf of SME UNTIRTA, I would like to extend my heartfelt gratitude to our faculty advisor, Mr. Archer, and all participants for making this event a success. We hope today's session has been insightful and inspiring. Thank you for your participation, and we look forward to seeing you in our upcoming activities. Have a wonderful day. Thank you all.
Thank you all so much. I really appreciate your time.
Thank you, Jess, and all the students. I just remind all of you to fill in the questionnaire on the chat room, so the student chapter can get feedback from this webinar event. Thank you very much.
Okay, for Mr. Asar and everyone has been allowed to leave the event. Thank you all.
Thank you, Mr.
All right,
Jesse, and all
goodbye.
participants.
Thank you, Mr. Jesse.
Yep, thank you all. Have a great night, everyone.